Okay, we're here with Miss Anna Lee Davis, the last surviving member of the Davis family. She is our matriarch. She will be 100 years old on May 15th. So Anna Lee, we want to know, tell us about our family. Give us some history. How did our grandparents, who I never knew, Mom and your dad, and how y'all got to Winter Haven?
Well, my mother told me that they moved to Winter Haven. I was 3 months old. I was the 5th child of the family. I had 4 brothers, 3 sisters. And I think it was a saying that when we came here, it was like they said money was growing on trees, and they moved from Monticello here. I don't know what they was thinking, but when they got here, my dad, my family couldn't work in the grove. They found out the trees was so high and everything, and you had to have ladders, ladders to climb up the trees. So after a while, my dad went and got some lawnmowers, and they started mowing yards. And he would take the 3 oldest boys with him, and they would do yard work. So I graduated in 1944. And like I say, I was the 5th child. My oldest brother, when they went to work with my dad, and when they got out of school, they'll go help him mow the lawns and get things in order. Most of them didn't want to come back here. When they went to the army, it was different, and they didn't want to come back here because, like I say, I guess it was easier for them. So I had one brother that I was sure he played basketball.
That's Uncle John.
Mm-hmm. And how he got where he couldn't walk, and then he went to a hospital over in Bartow. They call that the county hospital. And he stayed there for a while, and they put a cast on their leg. And they discharged him with the cast on his leg for my daddy to take that off. All this technique. And he was sweating and things, so he finally got the cast off. And he never walked straight from then. Then he walked with a limp in his leg. And he stayed here, around here for a while. Then he went to college up in Tallahassee. It was called, it wasn't FAMU, Florida A&M. And he stayed there a year. And when he came back out, and he went, I guess he went to visit up in New York. And then he decided that, he said, I'm getting out of Dodge. I'm going back to New York. And he got a job there. And I think he stayed there on this job for years, before he retired. But he liked it so well, he didn't want to come back to Winter Haven. and like I say, other brother went to Wesley. After he went to the army, he came back and he settled down here. and this is where he stayed the whole time. He never did go off. And my youngest brother with a friend, well, you know, by then they had a high school, and when he finished high school, he had to go to the army. And so he did his term in the army, and he went back a time or two, and he stayed in the army for years. And that's where he had his family up there.
Columbus.
Yeah, Columbus, Georgia. And so then the rest of us, I finished high school here in 1944. And I spent my time right here from different jobs and so forth. So then when I got this, I went to college for 1 year, and I came back because my mother, she had got her leg hurt, and so I didn't go back. So I got a job here, and from time to time I started working at the Simpson and Gessel Clinic downtown. My mother had 8 children, 4 boys and 4 girls, and this is 2 of the girls, Cheryl and Ned, and they went to college and
Granddaughters.
huh?
We many granddaughters.
In London.
And when she came out as a nurse, and that was a school teacher. And then I have my niece right here, over here, Linda. Well, that was my third sister, wasn't it?
That's Dorothy.
And she grew up here, and she went on and she worked at the bank for a while, and up until that was when you retired, didn't you?
Until I retired.
And so we've been around, and this right here, this is my niece right here.
I'm a great niece.
A great
my mother.
niece. And she's a school teacher also. So it's just, we've been
What did Minnie do? Your mama?
oh, you know, she did day work. They walked to work in the morning, and there would be about 3 or 4 in the line, or more than that, and they met up and they walked to work. And when they finished, they walked back from work. She did day work, but that's the only thing they had around here, you know. Mostly was, you know, you worked in the houses and kept the children and cooked and
Which you didn't want to do.
but I never liked to cook, so I would find me a job elsewhere where you didn't have to cook. You know, so I finally got this job, and I started at the hospital, and then I met Dr. Simpson, and he said he wanted somebody over his office to work, and so I thought that was me. And I worked there for years, and finally I left there, and I worked to the hospital for 23 years as a nurse. So that, well, most of my life was, I never liked to go off, you know, the state. I always liked to live right here. And so, like I say, that's where I've been living.
So Annie, tell us the story about your granddaddy. You said that's another reason y'all got here.
Oh, yeah.
He was mixed, right?
Huh?
Your granddaddy, wasn't he white?
He was real, he was real whitish looking. And this is when my mother used to tell me they had a brother. And I don't know what happened. but he got it. They didn't never say what he did, but they killed him. And my granddaddy said he rushed to grab a gun, and he was running off. To take Granddad to tell you about that. He was running through all with that gun, and so he went to prison. And now he stayed in prison a while. And when he released, he went back to Monticello, but I don't think he stayed there that long. So he left and he came in over to Lakeland. So that's where when we moved here to Winter Haven. So he, I didn't know what happened that he killed his son. My mother never talked about, just me. But this is how we came from Monticello to Winter Haven in Lakeland. So this is how we came up as a family, with one another, going. So right now, and from time to time, they passed away, and I'm the only living one. Out of the 8 children, they're all dead. My mother and father passed away, and I'm the only living one among the 8 children. So they all married and got different, families. So I'm still here at this time.
So what I want her to do is talk about Benan, because Benan and my dad, Blake, and Ann Lee, we all, like she said, we came up in this house together as a family. So I just want, how you and Benan, as your youngest sister, you were always like protection over her. So I just want to talk about that.
Like Benan, we were all together. I mean, we got along. She'd tell me things, and I'll tell her things. And so we got along together. And my mother always said she wanted us to live together and be a family. And that's what I want to. I've always wanted that. And we couldn't get houses like they do now. You build the houses, and you had to buy the lots. And as my brothers grew older, and they was going to they were trying to get a house with my dad and things. But when we got things all straightened out, and they said he was too old to get the loan for the house. And this Mr. Cunningham, he was also a teacher down there at the school, and he was the one that was building the houses. And so after that, he said, well, my daddy couldn't get the house long, so then Mr. Cunningham said, well, there's Ann Lee here, and she could get the loan. So they messed around. So he said, I think she'll be around for a while. I said, yes, I will. And so I had to buy the lot. They had to sign for me to get this house, and it was built in my name and no other name, because they wouldn't let my parents, because they said he couldn't get the loan. And when I got to paying for the lot, you think they had me they took it up there where I worked at and get it. And that's how we got this house built. It's built in my name, in it would have had my brother with a friend name when he went to the army. And he said, well, no, when he went to the army, you know, what he had would be to his family. And so I was the one that signed for it and paid for the lot. And when, because I had help from them, they got it all done, you know. Then I moved here with them, my parents, and my dad died in was 50, because Mom didn't live about 2 years or so. She died Christmas Day in 1960. And so this is where I've been all of my life, just about, because I didn't never like to roll or go off, you know. I'll go for a while, but I'll come right back here. And I stayed, and this is where I've been. Let me see where I had them finish high school. I think I must have been about 20 something, in my 20s. I think that's what it was. But anyway, that's the way we got this house, because they wouldn't let Mom and Dad sign for it, because they said they were too old and they couldn't get the loan. So Mr. Cunningham fixed it up. So, well, at least could get the loan, and so, but my parents had to sign for it, that I was their daughter. And this is how we came. We were a happy family, and truly, you know, I miss them. I miss them. Come Christmas, I look like, but as I'm growing older, that I kind of understand that, well, the whole family wasn't going to be together anymore. But I'm always looking forward to being with my family on Christmas. It's just something. Me and my sisters and my youngest brother, we'd go shopping during the Christmas time, and we'd just have the best time. So I miss Christmas. I guess will never be the same as it was when, and after they married and moved to places, they will always come back, and we'll always be together at Christmas time, a big family. But then as time went on, you know, after they passed on, Christmas has never been the same for me. Because I was always used to all of us being together. And it's just, I don't know.
Andy, I think, and so in the story you told me about, she had the opportunity, you know, to get married, but she wasn't going to leave her mom. Her mom, you know, just tell them about that, and then I'm going to make a comment and let Linda come.
Oh yeah, like I say, I never wanted to leave. Whenever they talk about getting married and we'll go move so and so, I allowed it here, and Mom and Dad allowed it here. So this way I've already, because you know, I mean, I told you I want to be home Christmas dinner. You remember me telling you that? Well, this is what I will always want to be, because this is just the way it was with us. So.
Were you ever in a relationship with anybody? That's what Ned was asking you.
Well, yeah.
You had a boyfriend?
Yes.
He wanted to get married.
Yeah, he wanted to get married, but it would have been all okay. But nobody wanted to live here. Yeah, you know, after they went to the army, young people didn't want to come back here and live. So.
Why was that?
Why didn't they want to live
Why
here?
didn't they want to live here? What were the conditions?
They couldn't get no job except picking fruit and
How were y'all treated? How were you all treated?
oh. well, they had all these things up in there. When you went to the store, they had two fountains. One was white and the other was colored. And so my older sister, she went
Seal. Seal.
yeah, she went in the store one day, and she went over there to White Fountain. She took a drink of water. He said, one of the ladies, not the owner of the place, said, "You're not supposed to drink that water, that white water. You say you supposed to drink that colored water." She said, "I won't drink colored water." You say, "Look there."
That's Vincent's family.
And then where we come up, the white and the black, it was all that is some of the things she used to do. She just did it for the devil. And one of the times, my dad and everything so worried, she went to stay. She went to work that day, and she had a little baby. She was keeping the baby, and she told her the lady was getting ready to go to Lakeland or somewhere, and she told her, "I got to be home such and such a time." Well, this was a time when my parents really was upset and scared. And when that time came, and the taxi was out there waiting, she propped that baby up. The lady wasn't there. She propped that baby, and she took the taxi, and she came over home, legally left the baby there. He left the baby, and mom and dad was so scared. And that's why I told her one time she's supposed to be back. And when the lady called and told her, "Well, I don't want you to come back." She said, "I ain't coming back." She was always so outspoken. And that's not the time when
This is still Vince and Grandma.
Yeah.
when her husband was trying to teach her how to drive, and she hit a old white lady, and she said her husband was almost down on his knees begging her, not to go to the police, and she panicked, and she said, the lady hauled off and said, "You got this child in here," and well, she won't say that. She told that woman off, and her husband was so scared. She was gonna call the police, but we laughed at it after a while, but my mom and dad was so scared. She was so scared they're gonna try to put her in jail for leaving the baby, But
But just to recap for my sister, for my cousin come, like she said, all my life I know I was in this house, and it was Anley, Benan, and my dad. So Anley and Benan were sisters, and even when my dad left, it was still Anley and Benan. And then when Benan moved to her new life with a different husband, it was still Anley and Benan and Seal and Dorothy. They were genuine sisters. But one of the things that what I want to expound on is that Anley's strength. And even as old as she is, there's a lot of things she still do right now. I could do it. Well, I got it. I just go about my business. and say nothing. So I put myself in this mode that, hey, you know what? I'm only gonna, when you ask me, then I'll be okay. Cause I'm looking like, okay. So, and I like comical, but truth. She had went in the bathroom and took a shower. So I went behind her one day and there was water on the floor and I didn't see it. Okay. Well, I fell. And I'm trying to get up, and every time I get up, I fall right back down. She just standing to the door watching. But she said, "Can I help you?" Annie, if you just stop watching me, I think I can find the strength to do this, because humiliation and shame and, with her just standing there watching me. So sure enough, I thought she was gone, and I was trying to get up because both of my knees bad and my left foot is bad, so I thought I was up. She told me, "You got to push on up now, keep pulling. Don't fall back down, you got to pull. So when I turned around, I lost it and fell back down. I said, "I'm gonna ask you one more time. Just start looking at me, let me get up." She told me, "Well, I'm trying to help you." You trying to what?
And my sister Dorothy, she would go. She was so quiet, and she, we would, my dad and thing, that one time they'd have a place that we go, and that we'll go down there, and my mother will fix, when they went to work, they'll fix a sandwich and thing for us, but my sister, she would cook. We can't eat that, and so he had a little place where we could go to the store and get different things. So I don't know what happened this particular day. She would send us down there to that store, and to make sure that the man wouldn't figure out that we was getting things. We'd have some cookies and crackers, and then we'd have some meal and flour and like that. But on the way from that store, it was old sand pit. We came by that sand pit and put the flour and stuff in the sand pit and cooked, kept the cookies and the drinks. So one time we went down there, and our guest, I don't know why me and Fred was out of place, so they had to send her mama Dorothy. and my dad we went out fussing with the man that he know his children didn't do that. That wasn't his children. And he said, "Well, I'll tell you who she was. He described my Sister Dorothy to a T. The only thing he left out, he said, and she had earrings in her head." That my dad, "Oh no, no." He described Dorothy as a T. Dorothy was so quiet.
I remember that story. She did tell me about that story.
And I don't know where me and Fred was that day, but we wasn't there. So she had to send her mom.
Yes, and she said that when your dad went to the store to sell up the bill, and he said it was not his bill, and he said, "No, I didn't buy all this stuff," and like you said, I guess she still got rid of the other stuff. But anyway, my mom said the store clerk say that it wasn't the other one that usually come with that little black one. I remember her telling me that story.
and then after then, we was gonna have some fried chicken, and I was gonna hold the chicken down there while Fred come down with the axe to cut the chicken head. And when he came down with the axe, I let the chicken go. We never did find that chicken no more. But she ran.
Well, no, I just want to say that down through the years, Ann Lee has always did all my aunts. We've always been a close family. And from the time, I was born in 1958, and I was at this house I grew up here. This was like my home too. You know, during the weekends and the summertime, this is my home. So, and Annie has always been there, you know, supporting us no matter what. And even to this day, she'll call me, you know, we talk at least 2 or 3 times a week. I'll take her to Publix, or she'll call me and we'll conversate. So I really appreciate her, you know, down through the years, always being there. And even from my children's standpoint, they say, you know, they've been out in the world and they say, you know, we got a close family, and with them interacting with other people out, they'll say they don't act like our family. Our family is close, and you don't find that so much today in society. But Andy, I just want to say I appreciate you so much, and I enjoy you, and I love you.
I love you too.
Love you. And I will say this to wrap up. As she says, family was very important. My Uncle Fred was in the service. He always cared for his mom, his sisters. He would send, and like she said, they all pulled together in order to purchase this house. So they looked out for each other. And the girls, they never left. The 4 girls, my mom was the baby, Betty Ann, and Anna Lee, Lucille was the oldest, and Dorothy. And they had a bond that you just don't see. When my Aunt Dorothy, my mom, Betty Ann, was the only one that could drive. But Sil, she couldn't drive, but she was the ringleader. But she knew where to go, how to get there. So they had a storm, and a tree fell on Linda's mom, Dorothy's house, their house. Sil called my mom, Betty Ann, so Betty Ann jumped in the car, and the 3 of them, they jump in the car, going to my aunt's house.
Yeah.
And so I asked her, I said, well, what y'all was going to do if the tree was on the house? We were going to pull out. Well, how are y'all going to pull out?
It covered the whole house, and
yeah, it
they
was a
couldn't
big
get
tree.
out.
No, but they went, and they were
right
going
there.
to see about their
They
sister.
were right there.
They were going to pull her out their house. And that is how they were. They stuck together.
Right.
Sil was the ringleader.
Yes.
Sil can call, and they always had that reverence.
Right.
She was the oldest.
Right.
And whatever she said, or you know, she'll call them, come do this and come. I don't care how tired my mom might be, they're gonna come.
Yes.
They will come together, and they were there for each other. And even my mom died. It's been 2 years now, but Anna Lee was there. And she said she always felt responsible for my mom. She was always supposed to look after her, to take care of her, because she was the baby. And she was there to the end, trying to do all she could to help her. So we, as Linda said, we grew up here. Anna Lee she's more than our aunt. She's our other mother. We grew up with 5 mothers.
Right.
Because we had that village that we don't have now.
Right.
So, you know, she's our only link, and we just wanted her story because we know it was hard for them growing up. I mean, it's hard for us now, but when you think about their struggles, and they made it, and she's still making it. She's 99, she'll be 100, and I told her she in better shape than us. And she does. She wants to remain independent. So, but you know, as I told her, honor your mother and your father. We do all we can to honor her. Do anything to make it easy for her, because we love her and we appreciate her.
Hello. This is my great aunt. So that was my mother that was speaking. And even though we didn't necessarily grow up here, we grew up here. Avenue P, this house was always very special for myself and my cousins. We would come here and we have a bond, like the bond that they all share. That was passed down to us. We grew up, we are like sisters. You can't come for one because all us coming. But the many things and the many blessings and the successes that we all have, and all of us are successful in our own way, is based on her sacrifices, their sacrifices. We are their wildest dreams. So we are blessed. Not many people that I know and I come into contact with can say they know where their family comes from. And we come from greatness. For my aunt, my great aunt, to be 20 years old at that time, to own her own home during a time when black people were not even allowed to own things, says a lot. And so I know there's this narrative that is presented out there that segregation never happened, Jim Crow never happened. It's not true. They lived in it, they flourished in it, they overcame it, and we are walking in the blessings and the many tears that they have. So I'm grateful. Her story needs to be heard, it needs to be shared. All of my family needs to be grateful and thankful that we have that we have this bond, and we have something to be proud of. That's it.
And I can remember an incident with my Aunt Seal. Every Saturday, somebody had to scrub her carport. Somebody was gonna scrub carport, and she would say, "I can't find my scrub broom. Go over to Aunt Lee's house and get my scrub broom." Well, we were gonna go and get a broom from somewhere, so we'll get the broom, and then Auntie Betty say, "Where you going with my broom?" Seal told me to come and get this broom. You know, I got to get this broom. And no matter what, we had to do what Seal told us to do. But Aunt Lee would be there to be the peacemaker. And another thing, Aunt Lee brought me a book one year. When she worked for the Catholic, for the sisters over at the church. And Aunt Lee got me a book. And that book helped me through the years to learn to read. I love to read from that book. And I kept that book until I moved and I lost track of the book about 20 years ago. So, yes.
Aunt Lee, how you doing today? Did you go to church this morning? No?
I've been nowhere today. I ain't even been to public.
Oh my goodness, I know that they missing you today then.
2 whole days.
2 days.
Speaking of Publix, do you remember back in the day when you were growing up, how much was bread and milk and things like that?
I'll tell you the truth, I don't know.
Was milk delivered or did you have to go to the store to buy it? Was milk delivered to the house or did you have to go to the store to buy
You
it?
have to go to the store.
Okay.
We have nothing, delivered. We always trot to the store and get, and sometimes when we get back, my sister Seal will say, "I need somebody to go to the store."
And you volunteered to go? Or you were drafted to go?
You have to get some of the children out of my bed one time going back.
Rilla, I was gonna ask that question. How many times in a day did you go to Publix?
Oh, I made sure I went to
One time? Okay. Aunt Lee, I got a question. How come you never learned to drive?
I don't know. One thing, when I went out to Winter Haven High to learn how to drive. And the same week when I went out there, we was coming from, what you call that place where we went to play bingo, and we got in a wreck. I've never been under the steering wheel.
At the American Legion building. That's what you mean?
Yeah, the American Legion. I've never been back under the steering wheel. That scared me so bad.
They said it was a wrap, and it was a wrap for you, hey? And how old were you at that time?
Oh, I must have been about 19 or 20 or something like that.
So I want to ask, when you were coming up, I'm curious about coming up. What did you do to entertain yourself? I remember playing Jike Stones and hopscotch. What did you do to entertain?
Well, the same. We used to have get a little circle and met. What was that? We used to
Little Sally Walker?
Little Sally Walker. Yeah, what else? The other thing we used to play. Well, we used to get a ring and go around. You know.
Okay. So you guys didn't have many toys. You just had to create and be imaginative to play.
Yeah. Well, I remember about the toys. I remember once when we were growing up, and when my mom and dad, bought the toys for Christmas. And one year, the last year we got a toy, they had them up in the attic. And we went up in the attic and got them and played with them till one of them wheels.
Did they all get returned to the attic, or did some of them get broken?
We got no more toys.
So that was it.
Things like that. Got no more toys, and I can remember when my mother used to put up jellies and things. She said, "This is for Mr. Hardtime." We know who Mr. Hardtime was. And we ate all of them off the backside. We gonna eat these, and Mr. Hardtime ain't gonna get to it.
Well, y'all gave Mr. Hardtime a real hard time.
We did all kind of crazy things.
It sounded like y'all were little busybodies.
We were all,
How many of y'all were busybodies?
all
All
of
y'all?
So did anyone work coming up in school, or did you just go to school and then graduate?
No, I used to work after school. I'd come home. I worked over there at the Haven Hotel, and I used to wash dishes over there.
Okay.
And after a while, I moved up from washing dishes over to the salad bar. I have to make
Okay.
So was that your spending money, or did you have to contribute to the household expenses?
Yeah, I always contribute.
What about your siblings? Did they contribute? Did everybody else contribute when they worked too?
Some of them. I said that was theirs.
Well, let me ask you about Daddy.
Who?
My daddy, Wesley.
Oh yeah, he was always. He used to work coming up at Mr. Allsong.
Yeah, also.
And he had the youngest one. What was his name?
You had Chip and Dave.
The youngest one. He was always so crazy about Wesley.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. I can't think that he would work. And then, my daddy, when they come down here, they always talk about money come on grown trees. But they didn't have the part where you have to go up on a ladder and pick.
That was that orange money, right?
And what my daddy did, he got some lawnmowers and he took Nathan, Wesley, and John. Well, Brad was too young to go. And see, when it got to my brother John always was great. And my daddy, it was no one check. And he wanted to know why Nathan got all the money.
He wanted his own money.
See, Wesley and Nathan wouldn't ask no questions like that.
John was curious. He wanted to know how he was going to get his money. He wanted to know fast was being pulled over his head.
Now the nickname. Daddy had a nickname of Bay.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I don't know where all this say. And what they used to call me, I forgot what they used to call me. And they called our old sister Sil.
Seal.
That was her. And no, we didn't have a nickname, but it was always called Dot. Dot. And Betty Ann was just Betty Ann. But yeah, Weston was always
And Nathan, what they call Nathan?
Pop. Yeah, so did.
Okay. And Fred, did they call?
Fred. Fred was always Fred.
Fred.
They used to think we were twins.
You and Fred?
Me and Fred.
Okay.
We was about the same size when we was growing up in there.
So growing up,
And we always, now me and Fred, we always were, you know, until he went to the army after school. But my brother John, he didn't like it right here. You know, they thought he got hurt, but I remember he used to play basketball. And this is how he got his leg hurt. But then
I never knew that.
they always thought about polio. Polio wasn't even circulation when it happened. And he went, they had Bartow was the county hospital.
yeah.
And they went and they put a cast on his leg. And they sent him home with that cast on. They didn't take it when time come to take the cast.
off.
He sent him home. My dad had to take that cast, and my dad sweat. And he pulled, and he never did walk straight again after they took that cast off.
Okay.
But when he grew over here, and he don't stay around here, well, he don't work. And then don't get no pay. He getting out of Dodge. He left around and we finished high school and went up to what you call it, up to Tallahassee one year. He went to New York and he stayed there. You know when he came back? When my dad died, he said he was getting out of Dodge.
So how many of your siblings were born here in Winter Haven? Were any of them born?
Me? No, I was born up in Monticello.
Okay.
From Fred, Dorothy, and Betty Ann. That was the three. Because I do remember my mama said I was 3 months old when they moved here. And then Fred, then Dorothy and Betty Ann.
Were born in Winter Haven.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this, Annalie. How did Grandpa Nathan and Grandma Minnie meet?
Oh, I love that Monticello.
Oh, you know it's up there.
That's Monticello.
Okay. And what brought them to Winter Haven? What brought them to Winter Haven?
I think it was people was talking about money grow on trees.
In Winter Haven.
So
That's what most all these people down here from up that way.
Yeah.
Tallahassee, Monticello came down here, but most of the people, you know, they pick fruit.
Yeah.
But my dad never couldn't pick fruit. And going on down to that picking fruit, Betty Ann had a son, Jeffrey. He said, I'm gonna try to get me an education, cause I ain't going up them trees. That was Jeffrey. It ought to be an easy way to make money.
Now, when you were in school, did you play any sports?
Did I do what?
Play sports?
No. I didn't play, during the, you know, when we was in the class. And when I seemed like I had this, my face, and I couldn't go out at night. I had to stay in. And it got so, and as I grew older and older and everybody else was going up, It looked like it would come every winter, swelling up.
Like an allergy?
Yeah, that's what it was.
okay.
I worked on that because I got tired of staying home.
Oh, yeah. Well, what kind of sports did Daddy play? Did he play any sports?
Yeah, he played basketball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played basketball. I remember.
Okay.
He played basketball and John played basketball and Fred played basketball. Now, your dad played tennis. And I remember he had a tennis racket.
Yep.
And he said, y'all been playing with my tennis. No, we didn't. No, he didn't. Yes, you did. So one morning, Fred said, before he left, he went to play tennis. And before he went up there, Fred said he was watching it. He counted how many strings was in the racket. That's what he hung it up on. And Fred said, took up and told him, we got him now. I saw him coming.
Yeah, I remember he used to play tennis. I've been out a couple of times with him.
He never did know how we had this tennis racket. Fred saw him counting, you know.
Wow.
Oh boy.
When you think about family, what about aunts and uncles? Do you remember any?
Yeah, Uncle John and
There was an Uncle John?
yeah, we had an Uncle John. He lived in Clearwater and in Haines City. My Uncle Mom, he moved.
Uncle Mom.
Yeah, remember Uncle Mom.
He moved to Haines City.
Yeah.
And the ones what was back up there, I never did know him, but Wesley knew them all. He knew, you know, he would go backwards and forwards up there. Miss Alsop came from up there to Markstone.
Oh, okay.
And he would drive them back over there, you know.
He was always chauffeuring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was always the chauffeur. So, yeah, that's.
So who was the better student of you and your siblings?
And the better what?
Student in school.
That was, I think it was Dorothy and maybe Fred, cause me and my brother Nathan used to carry us over, you know, the class and things, and it seemed like they would catch on faster than, you know.
Okay.
But I remember my brother Nathan, he was taking us over the class, and I remember when we had a teacher named Miss Harris. We was in about 6th or 7th grade, and so she had us, but sometimes she'd beat the whole class. And I wonder why. And so my brother Nathan, I remember him taking me over this for about, and I forgot, the midnight ride of Paul Revere. And I remember that when, and do you know, after I put it, well, I'm going to give you one lick in it. I said, well, that sells it. I ain't tried hard.
Wow.
And I remember that Nathan carried me over and over. And she beat the coke, but she beat me. And it wasn't interesting to me anymore. She gonna beat me in the house.
Wow.
Oh, these were some of the class we had, but
Is there anything that you haven't done or been, a place you haven't been that you would like to visit or something you like to do?
no. Look like
Other than go to Publix.
well, that's not oh, I've never been on an airplane, and I don't ever plan to get on. If I got it on a boat.
What about the train? You been the train?
I used to drive the train,
Okay.
but that's the only thing in the bus, and they took the buses off, you know, so But other than that,
He had no desire for the mother modes of transportation.
no.
Right.
No, and I sure enough don't have no desire to go in the airplane. Never.
No airplane.
That was something else.
Well, I tell you, it sounds like you had a very interesting,
Yeah.
colorful life, and that you and your siblings really enjoy one another and help support one another. So that's what it's all about, and we certainly hope that we can pass on that love for one another that you guys had.
And my sister, Lucille, she'd never been on an airplane either. So I know one time we was looking for Darryl or something that had got away from us when he was a little boy. And I went, the airplane, they was all down on the ground. So I went to look in the airplane. My sister said, "Don't you get on the airplane."
So where was he?
On the airplane.
He was on the airplane. He was stowaway. The plane had not taken off. He was just
No, that was all
laying on the
ground, and he was looking, so he just went on in. Oh boy.
check it out early.
Yeah, I think about all the good times we had together.
Yes. Sound like y'all had a lot of good times.
We did. We did.
Yeah. Big families to support one another. You did things together. You helped one another.
We lived right down there in front of First Baptist Church. That was how.
I didn't know that. I don't remember that, but I've heard it that you lived there. This is basically the only place I knew you lived.
Right, me too.
All of my life.
And
I knew that.
grandmother used to come over. They lived in Lakeland. They were here before we did. They lived in Lakeland.
Oh, okay.
And my grandmother used to come over some weekend spinning, and then she would always get up early in the morning and she would start singing and praying, and she would call each one of us by name. But I had one brother, when he called his name, he wouldn't answer.
Who was that, John?
My brother John.
Figures.
And that made her sing more.
What was your grandparents' names?
Louise Wynn and William Wynn.
Louise and William Wynn. They lived in Lakeland.
Yeah, they lived in Lakeland.
Okay.
And her favorite song used to be John in the River of Jordan. Baptizing everyone he could see. I remember that.
Like it was
and she'll
yesterday.
call and she'll sing, and that would tickle John so bad. But he wouldn't answer.
Well,
Okay.
I thank you so much,
Yes.
Annalie. We all thank you
Thank you for your
helping us
time.
reflect back to learn a little bit more about our father and
Oh
his
yeah.
siblings. And
Yeah, he didn't pick that fruit, and he got some lawnmowers, and back then they wouldn't even pay the those, they had one check.
Yeah.
And my brother John couldn't understand.
he understood when he got that check cash and got his part, right? Yeah.
He thought all of them was gonna get
Get a
some.
check.
Wow.
Oh, but we had friendly and nice, together. And I'll tell you what, I missed them so,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had a good time this Christmas.
But you always have your
Yes.
memories. That's for
It
sure.
was always the big time for us.
Yes.
Until we found the toys up there.
They took care of that.
Did y'all get a spanking for that?
I forgot what we did.
You were so traumatized.
We were trying to get out the door.
Okay. All right.
then,
Well, you take care and enjoy the rest of your afternoon, Aunt Lee.
Yeah.
Love you.
My big brother, they always took care of us.
Okay.
All right. You take care. Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
Annie, can you tell me about Auntie Emma? Well, how was she related to us? I remember that she was our aunt, and we called her Auntie Emma, but it was like she had to kind of hide to be, not around. She wouldn't let anybody know that we had to hide to go see her. When we were, now, who was Auntie Emma?
Auntie, I think that was my granddad. And I don't know too much about him. I think my granddad, all I can think of, she called him Daddy. And so I always figured,
Because I remember Mama would slip us to see her, but she was never really talked about.
but she would always talk to Sim.
I know, that's right. That's how we knew her. She would always talk to Mama. That's how I know about
Sim would
Auntie.
get together and like I say, that's all I remember because my mother and they didn't talk about Emma, But as far by Emma, oh boy, let's see.
Auntie, that sounds like that's some.
She must be you must be the one to tell us about how Auntie Emma came about.
Well, like I say, I don't know, but you see, I didn't know anything about Emma until I grew up, And her and Sil would get together and talk, but I never knew how she fit it into the family. I don't know.
Well, Auntie, how you and Mom every day around 12 o'clock, Mr. Darby would come and take you and Mama to. It used to be a drugstore up there, and they used to have some kind of number game or something. Y'all used to go up there and play every day.
You go up there and sign on a piece of paper they would have at one of them drugstores. It was on that side of the street.
Yep.
And we go up there and sign, and they never would put our name. We used to go for years. We went up there. And everybody would go, and sign on that slip. That's what we would go with, but we didn't never win anything.
So was Mr. Darby like y'all personal? Cause when y'all had to go somewhere with the choir
Yeah.
and everything, he would be the one that picked y'all up all the time.
You know why we would be the first one to get in his car?
Why?
Cause there was other members of the church, and Mr. Smith, that used to take pictures, and when they go somewhere, we had to give him $1 or so every time. So it got so, we would go over and say, we'll get it, Mr. Dawkins, or he come.
So, Auntie, 80 years later, you still trying to chase the same dream? When those numbers.
Ellie, how did my mom, Seal, and my dad, how did they meet?
I don't know. And I didn't know it. Never more about Charles. Tell almost they were, getting married. I just don't know. That was one that came. I just don't know.
That's all right.
I know nothing about Charles just about until they got married.
So Ellie, who was the child that got into the most trouble when who granddaddy and grandma had to always get after when you all were growing up? That got into the most mischief?
Well, like I say, when we were going around and about, whatever we would do the most, just like when they went to work and thing, and she left my seal over us, the thing, and then Betty Ann will be right with us, do anything, the first thing when my mama would come, she would tell, come here, let me tell you what they did.
Who was the snitch? Auntie Betty Ann or Seal?
Huh?
Who was the snitch? Auntie Betty Ann or Seal?
Who was what?
Told on everybody.
Betty. And I'll never will forget the time, you know, when something they was painting the house and stuff, and they had the shelves and the mattresses and all, they put them on the porch. And we were supposed to stay home. Well, usually me and Fred was, but this particular day, all of us left, and the hard rain came. The wet mattress got soaking wet. So she'll say, "Come on, y'all, let's make up the beds and put it on." We made up the bed and put some newspaper on the top of it and put the sheet. That's the first thing Betty Ann told my mama. And my mama wasn't paying her no attention. She grabbed her by the hand and come in. When my mama put her hand down that water.
So y'all never learned not to listen to Seal. Y'all just followed everything she said.
Yeah, we all would get in a group together and think about it. So we made up the bed with those soaking mattresses.
There was a store, and I think my mom, Seal, would send you and Dorothy, I think.
You know, me and Fred used to be the one to go.
Okay, tell us about that. What would y'all do? And about a note or something she would try and write?
You know, she'll make out what we've had. See, we wouldn't eat them sandwiches what Mama left for us. And we would put she'll make a list, you know, it was the old sand pit down there on the side. So she'll put what we like to eat, and she'll put some of it like flour and Crisco there, and it was lard and things, so the man wouldn't figure we was the one that making the list out. So we would eat high on the hall. She fed us good.
Oh my God.
We didn't have to eat them sandwiches. Oh, she cooked. She was a good cook. And we had salmon in that one particular time. She said, hey, I don't know why they didn't have no chicken or something down there at the store. And she said, well, I know what we could do. She said, we had chicken on the yard, see, and we'd take one of them chickens out, and I was gonna hold the chicken, and Fred was gonna come down with on the chicken neck with the hand. So when he started to come, when he decided to come down and hit that, I let that chicken loose. We didn't ever see that chicken no more.
But how did you pay for this?
Huh?
When Seal was writing a note for y'all to get this, how did y'all pay for this?
We didn't pay. See, Daddy had an account down there and going down on Mr. Atkins. And see, you would have, you know, they would get things, you know, along the way. But this particular time, we went too far with it. And see, this stuff like, we call it lard and flour and stuff. We throw that in the old pit down there. On the way home, that didn't get to the house. That was to keep him from knowing. Was thinking that, you know, these cakes and cookies.
So how long were you able to outsmart him before he found out everything what you all were doing?
It was a good while, cause I tell you, we went overboard. And when he went down there to pay, the bill was so high. and he was arguing with the man, and the man said, well, some of your children. And my daddy was arguing, not my children. And this particular time, I don't know why me and Fred we were the one that used to go. She sent my sister Dorothy down here. And he described her to a T. The only thing that threw him off, he said she talked low and she had earrings. Oh, we had her then. And my children ain't got no earrings. So my brother Nathan, she said, well, Nathan, you don't be arguing with the man and it's something. Well, no, I ain't no.
And you all never said a word when he came. Did he question you all when he came home?
My brother Nathan did. My dad, he never did. And I guess if we hadn't went overboard that time, and so much stuff was stored in that old pit down there. See, we kept the cake and the cookies and all of that. But like I say, my sister, she was a good cook and she fed us good.
So that's why you all went along with it?
Yeah.
Because the food was good.
Yeah, you would go on.
So Ellie, when you all what made you all decide to move on Avenue P? How did you all come about getting this house?
We were, I think a storm came, and it just about took all the top off of the house, because we were right down there in front of First Baptist Church, and most all of those houses, got dirty in from the storm, and this is the way we had moved up there, And I guess we never lived till we got out there. We never did see people fighting, and the women and the men, and they used to have that old thing, and they had a old jug down there, and they were playing, and we were supposed to stay on the front side and not go on the back side where all the music was playing. And somebody was supposed to watch while we. But they got excited and they were too. And then I think it was my mama drove up and come up in the cab and we were back there just having a good time.
So when you look back over the years and you look at the grandchildren,
Huh?
you look at grandma and granddaddy's grandchildren, who do you see that's most like them, the two of them, Minnie and Nathan, our grandparents? So which grandchildren reminds you more of granddad and grandma?
You say which one?
Which grandchildren, out of all of Grandma Minnie and Grandpa Nathan's grandchildren, that's Gloria, myself, Nathania, Nita, Brenda, out of all of Cheryl, Ned, Cookie, Jeffrey, out of all of us, who remind you the most of those two?
Well, Dorothy would remind me more of my mother, because she was always on the quiet side, and she didn't talk much, and she was always, and I guess my brother John,
Remind you of,
I guess he was the most,
right, but I'm saying, when you look at all of us, who looks more like them and act like them? When I'm talking about the grandchildren, not the children, the grandchildren, who looks more like Grandma Minnie and Uncle Nathan, all of us.
Oh, well, no, that's hard to say. Because Dorothy was always look more like my mother.
Okay.
And my dad, that's hard to come by. Which one else? You know they wasn't down with us. They were always going. All the boys went to work with my daddy.
Okay. So did that bill ever get paid?
Huh?
Didn't Uncle Fred or somebody come back and pay that man?
No.
Who was it?
My brother Nathan.
Oh, Uncle Nathan.
He was working at Bodo Cannon plant.
Uh-huh.
He paid it because my dad was off and it wasn't none of us.
Okay.
Well, Ann Lee, why only, out of all your siblings, why only 2 of you learn how to drive?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, we didn't have a car. We didn't have no cars back then, so.
Well, no need to learn it.
And then when I thought I was going to learn to drive, that was when we was in that wreck that Saturday night enemy. We was coming from Bengal. And that car ran right into her. I had to spend some time in the hospital. And I never, but when my sister married Charles, you remember the wreck they had that time?
Tell us about that wreck, Emily.
Trying to teach her how to drive. And she ran into a back. Oh, it was an old white lady she ran into. And see, Charles was back there just trying to talk to the lady to talk. And the lady missed and said, well, you ain't got no business having that child driving. And that's when she jumped out the car. And Charles couldn't stop her from talking. And she so finally they decided Charles would pay for, the damage. And she'll say, and some of that stuff was on there before.
You're not saying that. Well, Auntie, why did Sia never ride in the back seat?
No, that the front seat was her and Betty Ann's seat. And me and Dorothy always be in the back. You better not get in that front seat.
So did either one, whoever out of the Sia and Auntie, just whoever got in there first was the one who got the front seat?
Yeah.
Or did one have a more privilege to get in there? Because I never seen Sia in the back seat.
No, well, she wasn't going to get it. She got in there first. She wasn't about to get in the back seat. And then that was the time when we went to Publix. And I was in the car with Sia and Betty Ann was in the front seat. And when I was out there having put the groceries in the back, in the car and everything, when I got all the groceries in the car, and I went and took the cart back and put them up where, and I came back, I couldn't find them. They had them drove off and left me out there in all that hot sun. Didn't notice I wasn't in the car. I had to go in there and have the lady to call, and they had got down to what is that sandwich place down there? And they hadn't even missed me out the car.
McDonald's.
They done got the McDonald's and left me standing out there. I was so mad with them.
But I bet you, did you say a word? Are you just mad?
No, when they got home, I got out and got my stuff and come out and help them get no food. Yeah, I was mad with them. And it was hard. That hard and still, that was their seat, the front seat.
Allie, I want to ask you one more last question. Do you remember when when Mama would have like when missionaries used to come to the house, and on once a month, once on Thursday nights, and when it was always Mama time, she always had you coming over there helping to cut up the chicken.
Yeah.
and you know, bell peppers. If she was gonna make chicken salad, that was always your job to do it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, I just was wondering because I remember that was, and I was a little girl.
See, now, Ellie, we got you on tape now. You can't keep it from us. We thought all them letters coming here was 70 cents a day for your children. I found in that back room that pink line right there. I know what that pink line mean.
What?
Where your children there? Who
What
that man?
about that pink line?
That pink line right there. That pink line mean you ready. That mean you done had one. This from 1917, cause I know Sid was 140. What you, 157? Huh?
What?
157 years old.
How old I am?
Yeah.
Almost 100.
Who told you that?
Who told me that?
Yes.
Well, I counted the years and I told myself.
So what I want to know is, did you or Seal Burden ever have a driver's license?
No, we never had driver's license.
Why not?
Cause I guess we were too old and nervous to drive.
And they didn't have a driver's license since 1930.
Where you coming with that?
I just want to know why somebody got to take you everywhere. Why you can't take me nowhere?
Say, when they have somebody like who?
Why everybody got to come pick you up? Glow come pick you up. Why you ain't never had no license? What happened?
Well, I went up to Winter Haven to take driver's license, you know, riding around the coast with that. So one Saturday night we went to Bango, in the car with Elder Man. We had a wreck.
So you done hit and run. That's what it is.
And I never did get back up on the left.
Ellie done had a hit and run.
And when they came to pick me up from the hospital, they came home. I said, well, I ain't getting back in that
You
car.
ain't getting back. Who was driving? Seal?
No, she ain't never learned how to drive.
Well, who was driving?
Whoever came to pick me up, they had a driver's license. You better bet that.
And why is... I got another question for you. Why is public so important? Why that store out of all the stores?
Yeah, it's really important because it's always seems like the food and stuff is always fresh. And we used to go to Publix. I used to go to Publix when I worked downtown.
Work downtown well?
Central.
On Central?
Yeah, I used to work at the Simpson Gessler Clinic, and it was on Central Avenue. And that Publix was right on down the street from there.
And that's where you used to go there all the time?
Uh-huh. And so this is where I started going to Publix from then. And from then on, it moved out to over there. And the food and everything was fresh and it looked good and it was good food. You didn't hardly have to take nothing back, the Publix. That was a good food store.
Well, what store you used to go to before that?
Huh?
What store did you used to go to before that?
Well, they had some stores out here on First Street.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go there. They call Mr. Adams had a grocery store, and that Mr. Henley's groceries. Oh, that who they used to work that Boochie?
Boochie worked at Henley?
Yeah, he used to call it Mr. Rogers. And that was the store, and I remember most people used to send us to the store. And there was one lady that Miss Gussie, and she used to dip snuff. And she said, when she sent me to the store, don't tell them I use dip snuff. She didn't want nobody to know she dipped snuff. Well, I didn't dip snuff in whoever. And another one said, Mr. Adams' store and Mr. Henley's store. And she said, Mr. Canary White, she said, go to Rogers. Don't go to Adams. Don't go to Mose Adams' store. I never could understand why. If she's sending me to the store, I could go to the store, and I did most of the time. That's what, this lady, she said, when I went to the store, she dipped snuff, and she tell me, she send me to the store to get the snuff. And she said, don't tell them I use snuff. Well, I didn't use snuff. Who else was Or we had some kind of time that I didn't use snuff. So, and they know I didn't use snuff. That's just the way it went.
So that's why you go to public, because you didn't want to use
Yeah. So when we grew up, we started going to, we stopped going to Publix, and that on Saturdays, that's when we got the big groceries we went to on Saturday. We'd be uptown, and they had the taxi cabs from out here, and they picked us up when we...
So y'all had to catch a cab to go get groceries?
Huh?
Y'all had to go get a taxi cab to get some groceries?
Yeah.
That's a check note for me.
That's why we stopped going on Saturdays. On the weekend, that's when we went to Publix and stuff like that. We did. And then they had a store up there they called Piggly Wiggly's. All kind of little stores downtown. And
You chose Publix. Because Publix had the fresh stuff.
Yeah. So we stopped going.
No more hog heads on the table.
No more what?
Hog head. You used to say something about a whole hog head.
Yeah, well, they used to sell them, what was that? Down in Mr. Henley's store. Them hog heads and things. And I remember when we were growing up, we lived in front of the First Baptist Church. And I had a cow, and it was going in, they used to have the whole hog head on the table. See, we didn't have no lights like it is now. And when I went in the kitchen one, and I had that cow, and looked up and I went to hollering.
What you hollering for, Ann Lee?
I was a bear in the kitchen. Hollering on my eyes. They used to have the whole hog head. I just went and I got burned up pretty bad too. With that cow, we didn't have lights like it is.
So they had a candle, huh?
Yeah, they had them candles. So that's how I was so glad when we got so that we wouldn't have to have them whole hog heads on the table, the eyes and everything.
So I got two more questions for you.
Yeah.
So you said you stayed in front of First Baptist.
I told them it was a bear in the kitchen.
You told me it was a bear in front of the kitchen? So I got two more questions for you. You say you stayed in front of First Baptist. How did this family get to Hearst Chapel?
Huh?
How did this family get to Hearst Chapel?
How did you get to Hearst Chapel?
Yeah.
It was a dirt road that on the side of First Baptist. beat all the way down to First Chapel. We walked that dirt road.
So y'all just walk right by First Baptist and go to Hearst Chapel?
Yeah.
Why Hearst Chapel?
Oh, that we were Methodist.
Oh, Methodist.
And First Baptist. So that's where our church, we passed right there. At first it wasn't nothing but a sand road.
Mm-hmm.
We went past there, then they made a clay road. So we used to pass right by First Baptist and go down to First Chapel.
Okay.
The First Baptist, and then First Chapel was a Methodist church.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we
And I
did that.
guess,
So when we moved down here, then we was close to
closer.
Hearst Chapel. So we used to go down, right down that sand road, right by First Baptist, and go down to Hearst Chapel.
And my last question. Has this house always been the house everybody came to?
This house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
That's gonna be all right.
I don't know. I don't understand why, but it was always, they always came.
They always came here? So then you tell me, was it Uncle Fred that bought this house first?
No, me and Fred.
You and Fred bought the house.
Yeah. That's how we come. See, most of the houses people buy now were already built.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have, we paid, you had to buy the lots.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Cunningham would build the house. And so me and Fred, well, they say my dad was too old to get the loan.
Mm-hmm.
You say he was too old, so then Mr. Cunningham wasn't gonna let that go by, and cause he was gonna build the house. And he said, well, Dan Lee, put the house in her name, she gonna be around. So that is the way we got this house. Cause they wouldn't, you know, my parents, they say was too old to get the loan to build the house. And that's how we came in. You know, you got the house built. So we've come a long ways from that time. But now it seems like you can have buy a house already built. But this one, Mr. Cunningham built ours, and I know he built still no house. And well, most these around here is when he built the house, cause they say, you know, when my older brothers and things, they was getting out and getting their own places. And my dad and them tried to get a loan to build. They say, no, they were too old. They couldn't get the loan. So then Mr. Cunningham come up with well, they had Lee, and there was a Fred, and well, they knew Fred was gonna be going to the army, and said you could build it in the house. So this is the way you got it built. Cause they wouldn't let my parents.
They want to let your parents get the house.
Get the loan to build the houses. Oh, we went through a whole lot of stuff, but we got it, and it has stood the time. So, yeah, like I say, most of these houses around here was built. Mr. Cunningham built a whole lot over there in Lake Alfred and everywhere, you know, houses. But we came through, yeah. Mr. Cunningham could always work a scheme. So, you know, we could get the house built. So that's the way we got this house.
Well, I'm glad to know that.
And see, when Sia and Charles came, they was, you know, young. So Charles could get it in, you know, build the house. And They could get along.
So Cunningham built Charles house too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright. Well, Allie, thank you. Thank you for 230 Avenue P. I'm pretty sure I speak for,
You welcome.
you know, Sheriff stayed right there with Gloria, but Adrian, Jeremy, Joy, Sharice. I'm gonna skip Brian, because Brian was down there to bed in. I was down at Baldwin, but yeah, I came here. This is our house now. And we'll take care of it now. I just want to let you know we appreciate you.
Yeah,
And thank you. You one of the last people in the family that got an open door.
yeah, all right.
And you come in here anytime you want to, because you can't go to Kelly's house like that. Kelly gonna, hey Kelly, I know she was in here. And Nick gonna put you out. Make sure you keep that.
Yeah, I can come to your house.
Yeah, you come to my house. Now everybody can't come to my house, but you got an open door party. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the memories. Even though you only made Jeremy and Joy a pallet, we still love you.
Jeremy, what?
Jeremy and Joy.
What about them?
They always got a pallet when they came in.
Everybody said sleep on the hall.
Everybody, me, Kim, all the Adrian, all that. Well, Adrian got a room. Cookie had a room back there, but all us, we had to make do. But Jeremy and Joy always got a pallet. That's why Brian went to grandma's house. I know now, cuz.
I don't know. I can't follow you on that.
Yeah, I know you can't follow because you don't take, but we know. Jeremy and Joy, you always made him a pallet.
And you didn't have a pallet.
No, I ain't getting no pallet. I had to get one on that couch. But we can't get no couch now. We got a new warden around here. Sheriff Ned Blake. That's all my questions, Allie. I'm gonna get ready to go out. You wanna go out tonight?
What?
You wanna go out tonight with me?
All right with you all the time.
That's it, bro.
My great aunt, gentle, regal, endearing, admirable, tender-hearted, appealing, upstanding, noble, and top-notch are words describing this phenomenal woman turning a century. I'm so honored to be sitting in your presence. I love you dearly, and I wish you 100 more years.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
That's it.
Perfect.